Hey, 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 welcome back to another RSG Lunch Stream. I'm Ranger J 1999, your host and part of the RSG crew. Welcome everybody to another wonderful lunch stream. If you're new and wondering what in the hell is this is where we hang out with you good folks for the next hour or so. We'll do a roster review, we'll answer your questions, we'll let chaos and madness ensue. Just a typical RSG lunch streams is what we do. If you do have questions, go ahead and put those in the chat. Make sure you put question in front of your statement. Just helps us scoop it up faster and try to figure out if you wrote a question or not. So just help us to help you, help us to answer your questions. So go ahead and do that. Welcome everybody. Hope everybody's having a good work day in this shortened work week as we get ready for the giving of thanks here in America. So big haul coming up because Thursday's Thanksgiving, Friday's Black Friday, the big shopping day. Saturday is recovery, and Sunday is like extra recovery. And that's the fourth day that you've been eating leftover Thanksgiving food. But I brought along some of my favoriteest people in the whole wide world to talk about everything that we're doing today. So let's introduce them. First of all, I think he's still in the meeting, but of course, we have the troll extraordinaire, Dr. Finn Medicine Woman. Are you there?
Bueller.
Okay, guess not. Also joining us, the voice you just heard is, of course, the one and only Grim the Mechanic.
Wasabi.
Wasabi to you. What's going on, buddy?
Nothing much. Eating breakfast.
Oh. Someone who's already eaten breakfast and is watching the kids. A man of never few words and many titles, so we just call him the idiot savant of RSG, the one and only Grande Pappy Patron.
What's up, what's up, what's up? It's your boy, Lord Grande Berga Patron, coming at you with another lunchtime stream.
Anything playing today, Lord Grande Patron?
Oh, we're just having a great day. The sun is shining, the pool is running perfectly, the children are upstairs playing on their iPads, the dog is sunning in the sun. It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood.
Hey, there you go.
No chicken sightings this morning.
No chicken sightings, but we've been unpacking a lot of boxes, so Grande's going to have to go take those boxes to the recycling because I don't think the trash man is going to like seeing this much trash at the curb.
Bastard.
Either that or I'm going to have to give him a very large Christmas time tip because, Grande is all about giving tips. So, but
and that's why you're kind of a big deal.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
I'm you know what, you got to. It takes a really, 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 self-important person to be this big of an Easter egger. That's all I got to say.
Also joining us today, we've got the Stoner Jedi himself, Xylo Takedown.
What's up, everybody? What's going on?
Yeah, nobody cares. Where's the apprentice?
All we care about is your
Where is my
apprentice? Of your loins.
Where is my apprentice?
He's at home with his mom. I'm at work for the day, saving some of my vacation
unacceptable.
time.
You get his monkey ass here. Tell him his emperor needs him. How goes his
force
force
connected
training?
with you.
It's true. I know when he's poopied his pants. So it's good to see that my apprentice's force powers are developing. Good. Also joining us from across the pond in jolly old England, scheduled himself, Mr. Mike Hunt.
Over 9,000?
Vegeta Mike Hunt.
Hey?
I'm start calling you Vegeta Mike.
Yeah, you've got my Hunt, your Hunt, and any other hunts that are around.
Vegeta Hunt. So real quick, I don't know if anybody watched the Monday Night Football game last night, but I was hanging out and playing hot with some of the guys, and we were all screaming and hollering because I think that's one of the best football games I've ever seen. I know, Graham, I know, but when history is made, you got to talk about it a little bit.
I'll give it to you this time.
What do you mean? This is last time I checked, I was a host and run all this shit. I'm talking about football. I just give you a warning, Greg, because out of respect, because I know you don't like sports. But yeah, it was. If anybody watched that game last night, that was intense. They're trying to play Heroes of the Storm, and we kept stopping because we're like, "Oh shit!" It kept shit happening. So I just thought it was funny that we were stopped playing because we were like watching the game at the same time. So, but Yeah, it was great. It was fun. I had fun hanging out with everybody last night, and it was a few people. And we will do that again today. I'm going to be hanging out and doing. Now I figured since it's the holidays, I'm going to be hanging out in Heroes of the Storm chat all day, and I'm going to be hanging out with you guys. So if you guys want to just come hang out and shoot the shit and have fun, I'm going to be in the voice channel and Discord for the rest of the day. And I know Finn's got some plans. I'm sure he'll talk about them when he gets on for tonight's gaming session. I don't know, Grim. Do you know what's going on tonight for the gaming session, or? Okay, Grim doesn't know anything. So there's that. So if you guys haven't already,
I think we're gonna be doing Borderlands 2 tonight.
okay, good. We can
I
get some
think so.
bit of action. I'll sing out and give you guys a hard time. But I'll be playing other games and hanging out in the Discord for the rest of the day. So a little bit of a present for you guys because
Dang it, Ranger! Stop playing games.
I know, right? Because I only spent like 18 hours yesterday working on bullshit for school. My God.
You're always playing games.
No, I'm really usually reading stupid chapters on economics and marketing and economic theory. And if I have to do one more formula for APR for home financing based off the problem I'm given, I'm going to scream. I'm so sick of figuring out home loan mortgages and stuff. If anybody wants to get a home loan, I am very versed in that shit right now. So get with me and I'll work it out with you. All right.
Don't they just make it up?
Well, they give you a scenario
But-
like
No. I mean the actual loans. They take a look at you. Yeah, you look like you can afford more, and then bump it up.
Oh, credit card companies are, God, they're
Oh,
bullshit.
Hey, you got to remember too, it's different here than it is in jolly old England.
That's right.
But sometimes if you do walk in there and you have a good enough credit score and you make enough money, they're like, "How much house would you like to buy?" And
Yeah.
you're like, "Whoa, wrong answer, dude. Come on now."
Yeah, they do that, and they do check your credit a lot because when you get offers for credit cards, it's because they checked your credit and are like, oh, 750. Let's see if we can get them to get more credit. The two things they look at is your debt and how you handle your debt and your score.
Oh man, it's insane, right? I mean, it's insane. We go, my wife and I, the credit card will come and they're like, "Yeah, we just upped your credit card limit to 150K," and you're like, "This is terrible." This is terrible.
They'll do it. Yeah, they'll do it without even asking you.
No, and you're like,
Is it-
like,
Are you saying that's terrible as you just land in Vegas?
Well, the problem is, what happened if somebody stole my card and I didn't
Mhm.
realize it? That's the problem, right?
Well, it's
I mean, everybody's.
well, the other thing too is 25% of the population does not check their credit, and so there's shit on there that is wrong that you probably are getting hosed on. That it does behoove you to check your credit.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, it's just like checking. It's just like checking what.
I come back and we're doing financial stuff.
Yeah. It's important, Finn.
RSG covers everything.
We cover everything. Damn it, Finn. We have a lot of good people out there, and we're trying to help them out.
I'm
It is
okay
your
with that.
fault, Finn.
People will nickel and dime you too with like $9 and $3 charges. I mean, if you don't check your bank statements, you'd
Yeah.
be surprised how many times you're like,
Or
"Why are we
shit that
getting
the
charged
bank's
$4
charging
a
you.
month?"
Yeah, if the
You're like,
bank's
"Why are we
charging
getting
you,
charged
yeah.
$4 a month for this and $3 a month for that, and all of a sudden you look and you're like, we got $100 going out the door for little piddly junk. That we don't even know
Welcome
what we're
to
doing."
Accounting for
What the
Dummies
hell
by
is
RSG.
Yeah. Well, so let's move on.
I want to know what piddly chunk is.
What now?
What?
You said piddly chunk. What the hell is piddly chunk?
I'm just saying that piddly junk. You get piddly junk.
Yeah.
Put on
I
your-
still don't know
that
what
people
piddly
charge-
junk is.
Well, piddly junk is whenever someone charges you $3 a month for some kind of protection crap that you don't even know what it is or even
Yeah.
know you're
If
paying
it's not for hookers and blow, I'm not interested. All right.
Okay,
So,
I'm use the word now, piddly junk. I like that.
piddly junk. There you go.
piddly junk.
There you
You
go.
know, little children when they're born, they have piddly junk, and then they grow up to be big and have the grande patrons.
All right, we're moving on. Dr. Finn, welcome. I heard you guys are playing Borderlands 2 today.
Yes, we are. We're playing the Thanksgiving DLC.
All right. So, and as I said, I will be in Discord after this all day to hang out with you guys if you want to. So,
Piddly junk.
all right. So, as I was saying before, make sure you give us a thumbs up, subscribe, check out our Patreon, all that good stuff. All right.
Yeah.
We got a roster review today, and we are doing
Who's roster?
Oh my God. DL Harbinger, and they are in
Nice.
Dark Lord's Empire.
Yes, they are.
We're making
doing
Grande.
Harb's roster. I love this.
We're making Grande do this roster review, Finn. I think that's fair.
Okay.
Have at it, Grande.
Come on, man. The reason why they're here. The reason why so many Dark Lords
Listen, if
are
I
here
don't
is
give you
because-
shit because of all the Dark Lord stuff, then what's the point of living? You know.
What's the point of living?
Uh-huh.
So I got to tell you, Harb's a great guy. He's the guild leader of Dark Lord's Empire, and they recently, like relatively recently, like past 90 days, became heroic. So congratulations for them. We're super excited about that. And Super Guy definitely helps out the entire community, and really like that. So big shout out to Harbinger. Big shout out to Dark Lord's Empire. Really like these guys.
Very nice. All right, Dr. Finn, what is old Harbinger looking for us to look at?
Piddly junk.
Besides that.
So I think we probably want to start with.
No, Finn's got it.
What he says.
Yeah.
He does. I'll read it because he's being weird.
Yeah, Finn is.
So
Finn has been very weird this week at all. Grande, I mean, let's analyze this.
I've been running Night Sisters in Arena since February. I've been in the top 20 80% of the time.
Yeah.
I do need to switch my team. He says I get top 10 when I'm not at work, but I work nights during my payout. Look at my raid teams. Would like to know how to improve and what teams I should be working on and or working towards. I'm number 1 in fleet during my payout, but I suck on defense and usually fall to number 10. Let me tell you, if you're only falling to 10,
you're doing good.
You're doing excellent.
Yeah, don't even worry about that, brother.
Yes. And then it says, who should I focus on farming in general, and who should I put to Gear 12 and Gear 12 Plus on? And any TW tips would be great. My Treya is 80 of 145.
Ooh.
And he says, who should I be putting my Zetas on? Now, since this has happened, I think he may have, I know he's coming really stinking close to unlocking Treya. Closer than even this review.
Well, if he's in the chat, let us know. So this was a while ago, so he's probably closer to Treya than he was then, because this is probably what 3 or 4 weeks behind Finn.
No, actually,
that
should have been.
We're doing better. Oh shit!
I can tell you, he told me about that on Sunday.
Oh, okay, good. All right, so let's look here. So his Night Sisters are doing just fine in Arena, man. You know, I think his is. Now, the cool thing is with them going to be offering where you can change your payout time. If you are working nights, my friend, one thing that could be advantageous to you is switching your payout time. If you're working nights, then switch it up so where you can get a better payout time. So that'll help you with your arena and rank right off the bat. Something to consider.
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I work all night and I play all day.
And you said I was weird.
You're both on crack.
No!
Piddly junk.
Oh my God.
All right, so let's look at it. So first of all, Night Sisters look great, right?
Yeah, they look fantastic. So Night Sisters are not a problem.
Yeah, I think good there. Now,
I'm just gonna go through his roster and start looking at what he has.
He could move away from Night Sisters once he gets Treya, but I'm not so sure he needs to.
Well, I'm looking at what he has, and I'm not seeing something. Hold on.
The other thing is
it's working, but he might be able to get higher. Is the only thing, right?
Okay.
Like it just depends on how high you want to end up.
When you look at his roster, the very first thing that pops out to me is 3-star Gear 1 Level 1 Darth Nihilus. I think it was just unlocked, but I would say that Darth Nihilus would be one of those characters that we would want to work on.
Well, before that, I'm checking something because I didn't see.
I do agree.
Let's see. He's got Gear 12 Boss. R2's done.
You're looking for what?
We have a lot of things we have to work on.
Well, we're missing some key characters. What is going on with...
I mean, so his Han Solo is Gear 10, right? With no Zeta. So that's another character you can maybe work on.
Totally agree.
Emperor Palpatine, Gear 10. no Zeta on his leader. You may not need it depending on how much you want to push Treya, but that's just one to potentially consider. And then Nihilus definitely one that stands out with only level 3-star, gear 1, level 1. You should be farming Nihilus now.
And Nest. I think Nest as well.
He has Nest.
I know he does, but we're missing a star.
Oh, yeah. So, but at least he's farming, right? Because 6-star, he's there. I'm trying to see where his Scion is, because if he has Nihilus only at 1-star, where's his Scion?
His Scion's low, too. I thought Scion is...
5-star, level 66, gear 2.
Gear 2, yeah. So, when we unlock Treya, we need the other pieces to go with her. And so, I'm not saying it has to be a huge thing, because he's probably, 3 or 4... I mean, if he's at 80... If he's at 80 of 145, we've got some time. So. We got a couple months, but we probably need to, at least get them up to gear 8, 9, 10, right? And level 85, and consider saving 2 Zetas for Treya, and then potentially, once we get them to gear 11, look at putting a Zeta on Scion.
Yeah, my worry is how far away his Sith are to really use that Treya team.
They're very far away.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth it to transition him from the Night Sisters. I think you're right. He might just be better off staying with his Night Sisters for now, because his Sith are a little bit too far away.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at his rebels.
Sith that are far away.
Yeah, I'm looking at his rebels, and CLS needs gear and Zetas. That's the first thing that sticks out to me. Han Solo. Because the CLS is 7-star, but he's only gear 8. Han Solo's gear 10, 7 stars, no Zeta.
We have a 7-star Chewbacca too. That's gear 8.
Gear 9.
Gear 9. So if we have a 7-star Chewie that's gear 9, potentially we could look at a
those are three. Yeah, those are 3 characters you want.
He has a gear 7-star Thrawn.
Yeah, Thrawn's another one you want.
So
put that on the list, buddy.
So for gear and for Zetas, maybe we need to look at his Rebel team and then go back and then just work on rarity for right now on the Sith team. Yeah. And then once rarity is done, then switch back over potentially to that team.
Although I think I would gear Thrawn first.
Yeah,
there's
Thrawn
nothing that replaces Fracture. Fracture is just way too good right now. In basically every aspect of the game, Fracture has a major impact. I think he should work on his Thrawn first and get Thrawn to at least gear 11.
Yeah, I'd say because Thrawn's the most universal character in game, right? Like you can plug him in anywhere. He's a capital shift.
Oh, he doesn't have Zeta.
Oh well, that's another thing to look forward to.
4-star
gearing up Thrawn.
So we'll go to his ships later, but. He doesn't have Chimera yet either, so that's another thing to kind of build your roster on.
Yeah, for sure. Ships, you can never forget about ships at that point in your roster.
I think he focused too much on going to gear 12.
Yeah.
Just looking at his roster, I think it was too much focus on gear 12, not enough gear 11s, and that's setting his characters behind a little bit on gear.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, again, gear 11 is just fine, right?
Yep.
For everything but arena. I take a lot because, and especially if you're using them on offense, it works just fine. And you can almost get 2 characters to gear 11 in what it takes to get 1 character to gear 12. So it's almost a 2-for-1 value to just work on taking those characters up and going from there.
So let's look. So we got Sith and we got Rebels to gear and Thrawn to gear. Bounty Hunters are fine. First Order, we know Night Sisters are fine. So let's look at heroic Sith. So we know Sith is the team he needs to work on overall. Rebels for Phase 3 you need to work on because that's Han, that's Chewie, that's CLS. For Phase 3 of the heroic Sith, those 3 characters alone will get you major scores. First Order looks fine. You can take him to gear 11 any time he wants. The stars are pretty much done. Executioner, I can tell he's farming because it's 6 stars. Night Sisters we know is good. Let's look at Troopers.
We need to unlock Grandmaster. We need to unlock Hermit Yoda.
Yeah. Your guild event store should be Hermit Yoda, and then it should be Wampa.
Yeah, I think he's been spending it on gear.
Yeah, no more gear out of there, buddy.
Wampa. I didn't see Wampa at all.
I didn't see Wampa, and I don't see Hermit Yoda.
Yeah.
I think he's been
Your
spending it on
days,
gear.
your
to get
days
gear
of Gear 12 are done, buddy. You got raids, you got other ways to get it. You can farm it slower. You got to get those two characters. Hermit Yoda is a must. Wampa not so much, but he's still pretty badass.
And the best part about those two
Yoda's
characters,
on 99 of 100.
ooh, nice.
I think Wampa might come back into contention
He
with
could, yeah.
Ordo.
I
'cause,
think- I think
those
both of
two
them, though.
combined are a pain in the backside with all the DOTs they stack.
I think it's like one of those various situations. I mean, recommending which one of these two characters to farm, right? Like if your roster's lacking a healer, go for Hermit Yoda for sure. Or if you're lacking something for like a various offensive damage output or something for dark side in general, Wampa's a great character on offense no matter where you put him. So it's really situational. But like, what would you think you'd value more, right? Like Hermit Yoda needs
Hermit
another
Yoda.
healer.
Hermit
Yeah.
Yoda was the first one I worked on.
I've said it before, right? Get both of them to unlock so you can work the gear.
Yeah, take 1 to 5,
Yeah.
start next 1 to 5.
And then after you've got them both to unlock, and you're working the gear, you're kind of in the back of your mind working the gear. Then pick one, and pick whichever one you think is going to work better for you.
Yeah, at least that way you
take-
can
and
decide the gear.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then take 1 to 7, and then take the other to 7, or take 1 to 6 and take the other to 6, and then take 1 to 7.
I would take him
and
to
the other
7. I think there's no point in taking him to 6 because 5 you get the abilities to like gear them up. I don't think there's a benefit to alternating at 6. I'm with you for the unlock first. I would unlock Hermit Yoda,
Yeah.
and unlock Wampa, and then I
And
would
then
take Hermit
max
Yoda
one,
to
yeah.
7,
Mhm.
unless something changes and suddenly Wampa's better. But you pick 1 and take it straight to 7 after 5. I wouldn't stop at 6.
Right.
I'm good
I don't
with
think there's a
that.
benefit to 6 personally.
I'm good with that.
Well, like with me too. I mean, like when the Hermit Yoda was first released, there was that time frame where Wampa wasn't in the store, so I was so focused in on Hermit Yoda. I finished him up. I even put both the Zetas on him before I finished him up. So he's a great character. Either way, I love both of the characters too, for sure.
Yeah, everything works.
And this is a common thing. We mentioned this before. This is a common thing that a lot of people do, and we try to tell you guys not to do it. And it's the focus on the gold and the shiny, and using your mats and stuff to get the gear instead of the characters, because there's a sentiment that if you're not gear 12 that you're not good, and that's not the case.
But shinies.
I know, and they actually make it shiny, right? It's gold, so it actually looks shiny. That's how evil their shiny is. So.
But
you have to
I mean, I know you need to stay focused, but
Shiny.
stay on the characters. But you got squirrel.
So gear
Chicken.
11 is really what you should be aiming for.
Yeah.
Gear 12 with your arena is also fine if you want to push that, but even that a lot of the times is more based on mods, and I haven't even looked at your mods yet, but a lot of times gear 11 with good mods is enough to take out gear 12 squads if you have the right lineup. Now Revan is a little bit different because Revan right now so far there's no pure counter. It really is a gear and mod check. And so if you're facing that team, then yeah, it makes sense to go to gear 12. But you have a lot of extra characters that don't need gear 12 right now. And the ones that kind of strike out the most are Pow, Night Sister Acolyte, Talia, and Spirit. And I know you're using them for arena, but really, like, you only need one of them. You have 7 Night Sisters at gear 12. There isn't a reason for that. That ends up being a lot of wasted effort that you could have used in order to get Han to gear 12 or get other characters to gear 11.
So characters, yeah, you're making a great point.
Or Hermit Yoda and Wampa closer to unlock, so you can start using.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. I think that you need to focus on getting these characters to gear 11. Death Trooper, Thrawn, CLS, Han Solo, Chewbacca.
So he's saying the reason for gear 12 is for raid teams. You do not need gear 12 for raid teams. You need 7.
You need
gear 11 with the right mods is enough for you to get all the damage that you need in the raid.
Did he 7-star Chewie too?
Yeah,
did he finish the Chewie event?
Yeah, did a good job on that.
Nice, awesome.
You also don't need 6E mods.
Nope.
6E mods are also a shiny distraction. You need 5As. Until you have a good amount of 5As, 6Es are not useful. What do 6Es provide? 6Es provide
hugs and kisses.
They only provide you 2 extra speed on a triangle, 1 extra speed on every other piece in a secondary. The speed bonuses for 6E are not worth it. And kind of to the same way that Grande was talking about with the mats that you need. The mats that you need in order to get to 6E, you can take 2 mods to 5A. Both of them give you a chance to add 5 speed or another entire roll of another
I
second.
I cannot tell you how many times I've taken a mod that I thought was kind of so-so, and I'm like, well, it's got some decent offense, it's got some decent speed. Let's roll it and see what happens. And all of a sudden, it's 125 flat offense. Or I roll it, and all of a sudden, you're like, oh, 17 speed. I'll take that. Thank you very much. You know, and all of a sudden, you do that 5 or 6 times, and now you've got a character that was so-so, and now is really great because you have some really great options to put on that character.
Yeah, like the slicing mats, you can take some mods that you just have sitting in your inventory, level them up. If they proc some speed, slice them up a little bit, and then you can put them on a character like say Range Trooper I did for perfect example, speed primaries with some tenacity, and then a bunch of flat offense on all 6 of his mods, you know, over 100 on each one, even the arrow, and, you know, just mixed his stats up a little bit and still gave him a little more offense, even at a lower gear level too, so works out.
So this is kind of just a general rule of thumb. Now, there's always a few exceptions here and there, but this is the general rule of thumb that you should use. The max level stuff, the gear 12, the 6E mods, that is all more for the whales, right? This is for the whale level of play. The free-to-play players, the ones that are not investing and can easily take a character to maximum whenever the hell they want, right? You don't do that. You don't play the game of the whales. You will fall behind. There is no way you can keep up with somebody spending money to get Gear 12 characters in 6E. It just will not happen. So how do free-to-play play it? Free-to-play play it by going 1 below the max. There is no phase in the game where there is a huge discrepancy between the max and the second max if you're building it and you're in the right guild. The exception would be is if you're in a guild where now all of a sudden you have like crazy amount. Let's just suppose that you're a 2 million GP, but suddenly you're in a guild with 200 million GP. Well, maybe you're going to have some issues if you're doing that, right? But your guild is 113. You are in line with your guild. So at no point in where you are you going to have an issue with building your roster with gear 11s. You will build gear 12s over time with your raid bonuses. Then they give a lot of extra mats now for mods in order to mod stuff up to 6E. Like you don't have to, you will get 6Es and you will get gear 12 gear over time. You don't have to worry about that. What you should focus on, and this is always for free to play, the first thing you should focus on, trying to get all the characters to 7-star. You will take way too long to get characters to 7-star if you don't focus on them from right at the beginning. And that's why we're saying work on Nihilus now. A 3-star Nihilus, you need to work on it. Rarity, we know is maxed out at 7-star. They're never going to increase it to 8 because they're going to piss off every single person that spent shard shop currency. Like increasing the stars is not going to happen. We know that 7 stars max. Once you do that, you're done with farming that character forever. Forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. The other part is 5A mods provide you a greater benefit because each role will give you a better chance at the secondary. There's very few circumstances where 6Es are better, and most of the 6Es are related to fleet. Not arena, but fleet, because there is no way that you can mod and change your stats on your ship except for just upgrading your ships to 6E mods. That's pretty much the only area where 6E makes a huge impact. Everything else is just kind of tweaking here and there and just having fun and increasing the stats, just more focusing your character. But if you don't have a solid collection in total, there's no point to it. So Gear 11, 5A mods. That is the target for free-to-play. And then Gear 12 and 6E mods can be the target for whales and people spending a lot of money. But if you try to play that Gear 12 and 6E game, you're going to fall behind. Your roster is going to always fall behind because you're not going to have the characters necessary when there's a pivot with a new raid or a new territory battle or a new game mode like Grand Arena, right? You're not going to have a depth of roster. You might not even be able to fill up the territories if you don't have it with only 2 million. So it's always, you always don't want, you have to avoid focusing on the max. And again, this is a common thing that happens, and that's why we try to caution you guys.
I see it all the time.
You see the highest rosters, and your goal is to try and get those highest rosters, right? You're trying to get yours to look like theirs. And at the top, and I'll use this one because this is probably the one that most people always look at. If you go to somebody's roster like Skycrack, and you look at his roster, it's like, holy crap, there's like golds everywhere. Okay, I have to try and get golds everywhere. No, you'll lose that game. You're not going to beat Skycrack at Skycrack's game. It's that simple.
As Brad Pitt said in Moneyball, if we try to play like the Yankees in here, we're gonna lose to the Yankees out there. And so, don't do it.
So it just refocusing it. You built your roster well so far, but you're lacking a lot of stars and everything. And so just focus more on Gear 11's getting more viable rosters. Gear 11 is viable in Sith raids.
Yes.
I can tell you that right now. But when we first started beating Sith raid, I did not have a lot of Gear 12. The only Gear 12s that I had were BB-8 and Resistance Trooper for the Phase 1 team. I still don't have a Gear 12 R2-D2 because I don't think it's necessary. I don't have a Gear 12 from a Yoda. I don't have a Gear 12.
Scav Ray. I don't have Gear 12 Scav Ray, and I use her on my.
You
on
get
my
the hell out of this.
Exactly.
You get off this show right now, Grande.
Hey, you know she is a Gear.
She's a hog. And the other thing too is, I'm like, okay, I'm scoring 5.7 million in P1 without even trying with the Gear 11s. Why? I have other stuff I have to focus on besides her. It's good enough at Gear 11. It's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Let's focus on P3 now, right? And let's get that good enough. And then after that, after we're happy with that, then let's go to P4. Then let's go back and make sure P2 is good. And then eventually I'll round her off. But I'm not going to round her off right away because I'm not going to get that much value for it.
So I'm looking at his roster for Heroic Sith. So Phase 1 and Phase 4 are covered. We have nothing for Phase 2 and Phase 3. And that's
he has Phase 3. It's not going to be a lot of damage, right? Because his Han isn't his R isn't Gear 11.
It's not
his
even
CLS isn't Gear 11. I mean, he has the characters, I think, right?
But he's nowhere near the gear he needs on those characters to do anything.
Right.
And that's the thing. That's why
you have to get your Death Trooper to Gear 11. Han is one of those characters you want to get to Gear 12 because he gets bayonet. We've said it before. Gear 12 is really important on characters that are useful and that they have a bayonet or a multi-tool when they hit Gear 12 because of the additional health steal or the additional damage. And so Han Solo gets a bayonet, so he's a character you want to take to Gear 12. So Han Solo, Gear 12. Death Trooper, Gear 10, or is that Gear 10? You want to take him to Gear 11. You have your POW at Gear 12, and he only needs Gear 8. So he's already well over geared. Chewie is at Gear 9. He needs to go to Gear 11. And your CLS is at Gear 8. He needs to go to 11.
Let's say this. There's some Zetas you need to put on them. Han Solo needs a Zeta. CLS needs at least one Zeta.
You can... So, at least for the raid purposes, you don't necessarily need It Binds All Things on it, but it helps. Because you can use him in other places. But for the raid purposes, the Zeta doesn't do too much. Because it only really is whenever Luke gets stuff, and there's not really, you don't gain that much turn meter.
Well, yeah, but I look at characters in just a general overall
Oh, yeah.
sense.
You want a Zeta on him for every other part in the game. I'm just saying, if you're looking at the Sith raid. You need the Sith raid, then you don't need the Zeta on CLS necessarily. The only one you need is
I went and swung over and looked at his mods, and I think we need to do a little bit of mod slicing materials to get them to 5A, and we need to do a little bit, I think, of still farming mods.
Oh my god!
So it's twofold. Whenever I look at it, we also don't necessarily have all of our best mods on our arena team, and so it looks like we might need to do a little bit of switching. But I know how to run Night Sisters in arena. Night Sisters in the raid. I'm not 100% sure about the modding on Night Sisters in arena. I know you're going to need them faster, and you're going to need them potentially with more protection than you would in a raid because the match is shorter.
Well, because of Zombie now, everything has changed. Because Zombie basically gets you 2 free reses with her ability now. So you really just need them fast. You don't even have to worry super about tanky. The more tanky you can get them, the better. But really, Asajj you're looking at for a lot of damage. Daka you're looking for a lot of health and protection just to keep her up. Zombie is just as fast and tanky as possible and as super fast. Night Sister, Spirit, same. You're just looking for speed. And then Talzin, you can look for offense if you want to, but really it's more about just health and protection for her too. So,
I'm looking at the total mod count here of 328, looking at over 900 for a full roster. That to me says we need to farm mods that are good enough to put on these teams. And it also says if you look at page 1, we've got 8s and 9 speeds if you sort by speed. So we've got some room to improve there. It looks like to me.
There's also some, and I know I don't want to keep on harping on it, but there is also the mods that you're choosing to go to 6E. I don't understand the reason behind the 6E on Night Sister Zombies Cross. Right? It's a 13 speed secondary that's only rolled 3 times. Right? That one does not need to go to 6E.
Maybe it was for the defense.
It may be for the defense,
and the protection. And
potentially it was for defense and protection on that one. That's all.
The protection, it only rolled twice. So you have to have a better one if you're doing it for that. I mean, this is why we caution against going to 6E, because you've used a lot of mats in order to get that to 6E, and honestly, that's not a good mod to take to 6E.
Well, and not to mention that mod can't be moved around to non-Gear 12 characters.
Now it can't be moved around to G12. To G11
Meanwhile, you have a purple 4 on a Sage that's a circle that needs to go to 5A. It has 18 speed. You have a chance to push it up to 20. It can potentially go to 24 speed if you get that speed roll. You have a purple 4 on Dengar that's at 17 that needs to roll and can potentially get to 23. You have blue 3s all over the place. You have a blue 3 on Boba, a blue 3 on Bosk, a blue 3 on Greedo. You have purple 3s on like 3, 4. I see more purple 3. You have mods that will benefit you a lot more by going to 5A.
I would agree with that. And here's the other thing too: is once you get a ton of 5A mods, what you have is you have more choice on what you want to take to 6E, and it means you get more looks at what makes a good mod and what makes it worth taking to 6E. I mean, I have 20 mods I could take. I would say would be good candidates for 6E right now, but it's because I have 200 mods at 5A.
So he put a comment. So the reason he took POW to Gear 12 was because he uses Boba, Greedo, POW, Chewie, and Death Trooper in Phase 3. You can use that team. One is heavily RNG dependent because of Greedo and trying to get the recurrent crits, which is fine. But he's saying he did that because so he says POW has more health than Greedo now. POW doesn't need health.
No,
in fact,
about whenever you put Chewie.
Avoid
no. He's running Chewie on that team, and he wants to get guard on Greedo instead of guard on POW. I know why he did it. We've talked about this before.
Right, but then you don't use Chewie. Where's his Chirrut?
Let me see where Chirrut. He can't use Chirrut because I think Chirrut's not even 7-star.
If it's Chirrut's not 7-star, then yeah, that's another character to work on. I'm just trying to see where it is. No, his Chirrut's 7-star. 7-star Gear 7. Chewie is not a character you want to use on that team, specifically for that reason. Like, the loyal friend doesn't work well outside of the Rebels because you need that on Han in particular. He's forcing it on Greedo, and in order to force the loyal friend on Greedo, he took POW to Gear 12. That's not a good reason to do it. Yeah, so he's saying it's for fleet? Hold on. I just want to make sure we have the reasons why, because I mean, POW doesn't have a ship, does he? No. I'm confused.
Unless he means Poe.
No, because he has POW to Gear 12. So POW doesn't need a Gear 12. Just flat out. The fact that you took POW to Gear 12 should be an indication that you're gearing unnecessary characters. Just flat out. You can get maximum scores with the Chex Mix team, which I know you're working towards. You don't have those characters yet. And he might be saying because of Fleet, he has the other characters geared up, which is fine. Boba Fett, you have a Gear 12 because you're using Slave 1, and let's see, then Death Trooper if you're using TIE Reaper. But those are really the only two pilots. Chewie doesn't have one yet. POW doesn't, and Greedo doesn't. But you're focusing and zetaing a lot of characters for things that really don't need the gear. POW really only needs gear 8. So that's really what you should have stopped POW at. We would have stopped you. Just for reference, we would have stopped you. That's I think really the only flaw in your roster. You're focusing too much on gear 12 and 6, and that's playing the whales game, and your roster is going to fall behind. We're looking at your roster, and you're building in the right direction. You're focusing on the right characters, but you've gone too far, and that's setting you back a little bit.
It is.
So I would
overextending your resources.
Mm-hmm.
So let's recap. Start slicing mods.
The 5A, not 6E.
Not 6E, 5A. Yeah. Also
potential for 5A right now.
Let's get as many we can get to 5A as possible. The other thing is gear 11. Exception being Han, Thrawn. You can get those two to gear 12.
Well, I would even wait on Thrawn because he doesn't have Chimera yet.
You could. Yeah.
You can wait on gear 12 for now because he doesn't have a ship benefit for it. He can work on Thrawn to gear 12. It's a good character.
All right, let's take him to gear 11. Yeah, and then
because he needs to
gear 12. He's still one of the up there on one of the best characters in the game. So I don't want him high.
Yeah, I don't mind if he takes him to gear 12, but he has so many characters that he needs to build out that I don't think he needs to spend time on Thrawn right now without having Chimera. He can go back, I think, and get gear 12 for Thrawn once he gets Chimera and if he uses him.
What about CLS?
Ghost to 7-star. Kylo Ren shuttle, Phantom to 7-star. Poe Dameron to 7-star.
And CLS is definitely on the list to get to gear 11. Grim.
Yeah, his CLS is only gear 8. And no Zetas,
I mean, once he gets those 3 characters to gear 11 and then Han Solo to gear 12, right? So Chewie gear 11, CLS gear 11, Han Solo gear 12, and then he has POW already at gear 12. Yeah. And then he has Death Trooper gear 10. If you can get him up to gear 11, you have a much better Phase 3 team that doesn't rely on RNG. Greedo can get you a better damage, but it's highly RNG dependent on how many times Greedo goes crazy. Plus, you need a lead-in team in order to get rid of some of the lightsabers. So you have to actually waste 2 squads in order to utilize that team. Otherwise, you're wasting a lot of extra time trying to kill all the lightsabers and taking extra damage, potentially requiring you to restart because characters are dying early. So,
Han, Chewie, CLS,
Ghost and Phantom to 7-star, so that way we can get Chimera.
Yep.
And Home 1 to 7-star, so we can get Chimera.
Yep, let's do this. So you've got a list of things you need to work on, then focus on no more gear 12 except for Han. Get these other characters to gear 11. Continue your farming. You're doing a good job on that. Let's work on those mods and getting them no more 6E. Let's get those mods to 5A. So we got some work to do, but you know what?
And
overall, ships as well. But overall, good job.
Agreed. Great roster.
You're doing the right things. We just got to get you a little bit more focused in a different direction. And
the criticism we're giving you, by the way, is all kind of at the high end level.
Yeah, it's constructive.
Criticism.
Yeah,
it's not like we're trying to tell you to change character. Like, you built your roster well. We're trying to get you to the point where your roster is exceeding even more. Yeah. So this is very like kind of the high end stuff that we're trying to tell you to just better your roster. So
and
we built it well so far.
Yeah, if we can get those characters up, then you can be really effective in the Heroic Sith raid because now you got a Phase 2 team and Phase 3 team. You know, that'll be doing way more for you. Quicker getting treasure shards. You're helping your guild out more. There's just a lot of reasons why we recommend the things that we recommend.
There's another one that I can recommend him farming, and that is Aura Singh. Now that she's farmable, she is amazing in the raid. She'll be popping, the bosses for 1,000,000 damage per shot.
I actually don't mind that based on the fact that he has invested so much into bounty hunters right now.
Yeah.
He has to get Enfys to 7-star, so he's on his way there.
That's a good job on Enfys.
But if he wants to work on Aura Singh, I don't have an issue with that for him because he's invested heavily in bounty hunter right now.
Yeah,
Aura Singh's a really interesting character alone for the bounty hunter faction, and then on top of that, she's a potential rev counter too as well. So that's like end game stuff again.
Yeah.
Sure, you can throw that in there.
But mainly, she's a raid character because she just can once the raid boss is toppled, she goes to town and does insane amounts of damage.
Yeah, that, and if you're one of those players that like to do the quests, if you're doing like the bounty hunter, where you have to start with a Boba Fett, it's like 500 times you got to fill his contract. When she's the leader and she's stealth, or I'm sorry, when she's the leader and bounty hunters have buffs and they use an ability, so that means like a basic or a special AoE, whatever. Anytime they use an ability while they're buffed, they are fulfilling the contract. So it's potentially, in my opinion, one of the easiest contracts to fulfill. So it can help you with your quest too for the players that like that.
All right, so that's your roster review, Harbinger. Appreciate you letting us do your roster review. If you have more questions, come with us in Discord and get with us, and we'll be more than glad to help you out. Anybody that would like a roster review, all you need to do is send your GG page to us on Discord to Dr. Finn Medicine Woman, and send it to Finity, and make sure he responds, and we will get you into the queue to do your roster review. We do these every day, pretty much, and we'll add you to the queue. And if you haven't joined our Discord, you should. Great group of people, great community there. Love playing games, love playing Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, so it's a great way to meet some other people with the same like mind and same like interest. So always a good thing. All right, that is our roster review for today. Let us get into questions. Do we have some questions? Questions?
Preguntas, por
Yep.
favor.
Let me get them
Preguntas
up.
por favor. Very nice, Grande.
That's French.
You sure? I thought it was Polish. What do I know?
It's Yiddish. That's Yiddish right there.
I thought that was a snack. Okay.
Wait,
Next question.
we got the wrong Grande.
All right. First question from Helenix. With Thanksgiving only a couple days away, I'd like to express my appreciation to the RSG crew and everyone else in the chat for your charity efforts through swgoh explanations and excellent sense of humor. Happy Thanksgiving. Well, happy Thanksgiving to you too, Helenix.
Right.
Happy
And
Thanksgiving.
to everyone else. There's going to be a lot of turkey feasting coming up.
Merry Christmas, because they're already doing commercials for it.
You know, it's funny. Someone asked me the other day, it's like, why are you so mean to Grande and Finn? I'm like, you do know that it's an act, right?
It is totally an act.
Actually, what you should have said, have you ever seen the show?
Yeah, have you watched the show? they have done that themselves.
I'm kind of deserving of it. Just a little.
Why are you so mean?
Was it Ted Danza asking?
No, I think it was Val Bacon.
All right, next question, Zem420 questions. What are good teams for Phase 1 of the Sith Raid besides JTR or Jedi team?
Oof.
Boy.
There's an okay Sith team. I mean, it's not great.
It's not
don't
great.
Get me wrong.
No, it's not. I mean, some people said Troopers back in the day. I tested it. I was like, well, that was a bad move.
That was back during the
I'll try First Order. Nope, that didn't work either. I mean, Night Sisters will do good in Phase 1. They're just way more effective in Phase 4. You know, you just get more bang for your buck, and you want that hard-hitting team for Phase 4 because it's a much harder part of the raid than Phase 1 is, right? Because really, it's JTR, and it's just a combination of JTR, whether it's with Visas or Yoda or whoever it is. I mean, there's a reason why these teams stick out. It's because you can do the maximum damage and be the most efficient because of what their skill sets are. You know, I mean, proof's in the pudding. You know, you can't argue with the fact that the reason that those teams do so well is because of how they're designed to work. And so there's just not another team dynamic set up in the game that can come close in each of those phases.
There's one more.
What is that?
The Vader lead, but it's not for the dots. It's for the turn meter reduction. So, like anything with Empire or Sith, it's not going to get you Jedi training raid damage or Jedi damage in general, but it can get you a couple 100,000 to 1 million. But again, it's for the turn meter reduction aspect, not the dots. So you still want some chance of like survivability and some characters that are going to be able to take a couple hits. So
there's also, it's not a very good one, but there's also the Embo lead bounty hunters that can do like 3-4% damage in Phase 1 too.
Yeah, the counter team.
Yeah, but it's a lot better in other phases than it is in Phase 1. But
that's when when Embo first came out, when Nukin was advertising him. I remember that. It's like over 1 million, but
happy birthday, Nukin! I forgot. You know, every time we met, it's his birthday. He's 1,275 years old today, so congratulations, or congrats.
Also a resident of Mighty Chlorians.
All right. Let's see. Next question, John Davies. Been watching the cutscenes from the Old Republic, and I think they are better than most of The Last Jedi. Am I wrong?
Nope. That thing they put together with that, because the voice actor was the guy from Aliens in a bunch of movies. And I can't think of his name, but it's really good. He plays one of the Jedi
What, the dude that
Masters.
played Bishop?
Yeah, played Bishop. And I just don't know the actor's name off the top of my head, but he did the voice over for all that, and it really breaks down a lot of the history of up to the Old Republic. It talks about Exar Kun, it talks about Revan and Malik, it talks about a lot of stuff that's happening, and it really
Lance Henriksen.
Lance Hendrickson, there you go. If you guys have not seen the cutscenes put together for the I guess they're the data something, they call them the data something, but yeah.
All right. Next question, Mr. Pennypinch. Question around the corn. What's everyone's favorite pastime on Thanksgiving after a full belly that's not watching football? My wife, kids, and I are playing a card game called Trash.
We play Bones, dominoes, Mexican dominoes. So
mine is nothing.
Game that is super fun to play, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is just that. So we eat early, like we'll eat around like 1 o'clock.
Yeah, 1, 2 o'clock.
And then fill up. Then we start watching football, and my dad and I will end up napping while watching the game. And then we'll wake up, and then it'll be around 4 o'clock. And then it's time for second Thanksgiving, and then we'll watch the rest of the football. That's pretty much it. It's the Thanksgiving.
I will probably be out 4-wheeling, so
nice.
Take the Jeep out and go rock crawling.
Yeah, me and my folks and my sisters, we all go to my grandparents' house, and we eat fairly early too, around like 2 o'clock, and then we'll play some like card games and some board games as a family and all that stuff, and then watch football and call it a night.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
There you go.
All right. Next question is from What Else 73. Question: it sounds like what Finn is saying is that the shinies in swgoh are both literally and figuratively shiny. Yes. That is exactly what they're making it. If you haven't watched it, watch the South Park about the freemium. Oh my god, so awesome the way they describe it.
That's pretty much
what it is. So you got to make little clicks and noises and sounds in order to get them involved, and you throw shinies and little sparkles. Do you notice how when you unlock a character, how it like rotates and there's like a flash of light, and then it's glow for a little while? That's what they're doing.
Another one is they did it in Galaxy of Heroes with Night Sister Spirit. Everybody was like, oh, it does all sorts of smoke and stuff. I gotta get it.
But they made it.
Hey, I found her at a cantina.
Year 12 and the 60 mods, they literally made gold and shiny. Like I don't know how much more blatant you can make something a shiny and tell you not to get distracted by actually making it shiny.
Just wait, they'll come out with the 7E and it'll be like
it'll glow.
Animated shiny. It'll be like all bing.
It'll diamond sparkle. It'll diamond sparkle from now on.
Yeah.
They also play 31 flavors too, right? Where this month, this flavor is the flavor du jour, the flavor of the month, right? And then next month we'll have another
Territory
flavor.
Wars.
Well, first it was Treya, and then it was Revan, and then it's Darkside Bastila, right? I mean,
flavor of the week.
There's always a new shiny.
And the next new shiny will be Big Deal Grande Sith Jedi Patron.
Oh, I'm telling you, Grande Patron always has a big new
Oh,
shiny.
what if they came out? Just stick with me for a second, guys. Pull Boy Grande with Kung Fu Grip.
I'm telling you, with Kung Fu Grip.
That can be the third year anniversary stuff.
Yep.
Carrie puts to game Pool Boy Grande.
Pool Boy Grande, that's right.
And in the game when he goes to attack, he's like,
no one will ever
and then the month after that, it's Cabana Boy Grande.
I have the same animations as First Order Executioner. Only I actually have a scoop for the pool instead of that.
It's a big net. He goes, guys, look, it's a Darth Vader chicken.
Comes live with 3 different voice action paraphrases.
Every time he attacks, it's either ha ha ha. It's like, guys. Or
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Yeah, that's my special. That's my special. What's up? What's up? What's up? That's my special right
first
there.
game ever, the number of people delete
It's
the
called
game
skunking
is
them.
like a full boy
It's called
No.
skunking them. That's my.
Nope.
God.
No,
Hey.
it's even funnier. Is like we expected like Jedi Revan or the new Jedi Luke to break the game, right? That's what breaks the game, Grande.
Guys!
The pool boy.
Gains all sorts of bonuses when the Lady of the Sith Carrie is leader.
You know what? You know what I would just hope for though, if that character
And
gets released. All I want to see is Grande getting released into the game, and somebody on the forums asking, "Who the hell is Grande Patron, and why does he have a character?" To which Carrie
I'm
just
like-
responds, "He's kind of a big deal," and just leave it
It's
at
kind
that.
of a big
And,
deal.
and then under
I want to see the UV, and all Carrie says is he's kind of a big deal, and that's it, and just leave it at that, and no other responses about the Grande. Just leave it.
I would unlock
unlock the thread there.
I would unlock the character and then delete the game because, like, how could you top that? I've reached the
Yeah,
pinnacle
it's
of
epic.
madness. Yeah, I can't do it anymore.
All
Guys, I got an emperor chicken.
right, next question. Ski Trooper question. I have 2 speed set mods with crappy speed secondaries, but triple-digit speed secondaries. Wait, what?
What is this? noise in the
Somebody is
background?
eating their mic.
Sorry, that was me. My sunglasses fell off,
Oh
and it
my
made my
God.
microphone.
I
all
wear
messed
my
up.
sunglasses all day.
When you're out at the pool, I mean, you got to wear some sunglasses.
My
It's shiny
God.
outside today.
My dear Lord.
All right, so he said he has 2. Oh, so I think it's total. Okay, so let me read it again. I have 2 speed set mods with crappy speed secondaries, but triple-digit speed secondaries. I think that's his total speed set. Any suggestions on a tune that this might fit on?
I'm confused. So we have slow speed.
Oh, he said he
secondary.
fixed it with the next question. Hold on, let me
So
check again.
give us.
Okay. Okay. So I have 2 speed set mods with crappy speed and triple-digit offense. Who are candidates for these types of mods?
Something on the Stormtrooper IT team, maybe.
The Saj could benefit from those too.
Yeah, speed,
Maybe.
not really.
You don't have
I
to
mean, you
match
might-
up the speed set. You can always run that as
Well,
the two
Yeah,
piece.
I'm
that
stating
doesn't-
for the offense because
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That's why I think
You
Han
could-
Solo is like the if you get high
Could be,
offense,
yeah.
I throw it on Han Solo.
You could
Yeah.
also throw it on somebody like you know Imperial TIE Fighter, right?
That's a good one.
you can
That's a
put it
real
on
good one.
Young Han. Young Han benefits from those.
Have you heard about this new Grande Patron action figure?
There is one other that a lot of people aren't using now, but a lot of people are farming, and that's Mission. Mission can hit like a beast, and so if you load up her with offense as well, she can be really good, and she attacks out of turn, so she doesn't need as much speed. So I would say Mission is another one. So I don't know how many of you guys have utilized it, but if you go to GG, you can see what is called the modifier stat when you click on the ability. And what the modifier stat basically tells you is if you increase their physical damage by, or their offense stat by 1, how much does it increase their physical damage on a normal hit? And so if you go to a character like Han Solo, who's the one that I would think about first with this, if you look at his basic, when it's maxed out, his modifier is listed as 1.85, which means for every 1 extra offense that you give him, he's going to increase his base damage on a non-crit by 1.85. And so if you add, let's say, 100, just to make it round, if you add 100 offense to him, he's increasing the damage by 185. And then you can add on to the crit chance if you have him at 216, like an additional percentage there on increasing his critical damage as well. So what you're looking for primarily with offense stats are the characters that have high modifiers on their abilities, because they gain the most damage from their increase in offense. But you also want them to be attackers, because there's no point in increasing, let's just say, Sunfac, and I don't know for sure, but let's just suppose really quick as an example, Sunfac has a 4 multiplier, so every 1 point of offense increases his damage by 4. Well, if his base damage is crap, you're increasing crap, and it's still it'll be less crappy, but it'll still be crap. So you're
You
looking
cannot
for
polish a turd.
yeah. Once a turd, always a turd.
Yeah, if you polish
So-
a turd, it's still a
Actually
turd.
Polish a turd. They proved that on Mythbusters that you can actually polish a turd.
All right.
Essentially, you're looking at attackers with high modifiers, and so Han Solo is a definite good one for that one. You're also looking at somebody like Mission. Mission also has a high multiplier. Her base is 2. So that's kind of from the technical side of it.
The Falcon and Chewie put it on me. Mods. All right. What should I run in Galactic War today? Let's pick a team. Not a shitty team. I don't want crap. What team should we run?
It's not crap, but why don't you run the Old Republic team? Do you have Old Republic semi geared up?
They're gear 8. I mean, Basila's gear 11 and almost 12. I mean, I could go throw some more gear on them to make them 8 or 9.
See how
Have
far
you
they
done
go.
anything with Aura yet?
No, that's not part of
man,
my plan right now.
I mean, I would
Let's
just
let me see.
get with them as they are. I don't think you need to put gear on them, but
All right.
Bastila, T3, Mission, and Zalbar. See how
Yeah,
far you can get with them.
I haven't done a lot of the megas or anything. Oh no, not Dark Side Basila. You get out of there.
Yeah, not Dark.
Maybe like a
I've been
Kira scoundrel team.
I usually run that. I've been running that. You know, if you watch the GWs, I'll run that team 1 or 2 battles, but it's like emphasis 12 and stuff, and it's not fair.
All right,
It's
next
not fair.
is
Yeah,
from
Nest is such a beast.
Hey, do you have any? You know what I've been running recently in GW because I have
And
to.
it still put Basila in here. Oh no! You get we're starting again.
Do you have any quests? Do you have any quests you have to do? Because I had to do this one quest, which is called Truly Identify,
I
which
don't
is
do
finish
quests.
finish off 200 enemies with Ahsoka Fulcrum. So the team I ran was Fulcrum Ahsoka Tano lead with BB-8, Hermit Yoda, and Jolie, and that's it. I go in. So that way the only one killing anyone is actually Fulcrum Ahsoka Tano. You'd be amazed. You wipe through that thing real quick.
well,
I'm doing Aura because I want to fill Greedo's contracts, and she's probably one of the easiest ones to fill a contract on, especially in Galactic War. Currently on 429 of 500 for Greedo now.
right.
Nice.
let's go to the next
Yeah, I'm
question.
like
Adam M.
halfway.
Adam M asks, "How do you feel about 6E mods only allowed on Gear 12 characters?"
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's
I don't have an
the
issue
stuff.
Yeah, no problem with it.
Don't
I
take
have
them-
more of a
don't
problem
take
with a
them
mod
there.
cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do
no
too.
gear
They
cap.
need to drop the mod cap, or at least
Yeah.
increase it. It's there's too many
think,
mods coming in. I know they
It's
gave
way too
management,
many.
but it's not easy to still manage them.
I'm going to tell you, don't take mods to 6E unless you have.
Unless it's
probably
arena.
10,
Even arena.
10 or-
It
I'm
has
just
to
saying
be-
that would be the. But I'm
10
just
or
that's
15.
the only
Okay,
way I would say.
10 or 15, right. But you need to have at least 10 or 15 characters, 20 characters at G12 before you start doing that.
I have 38.
Any-
Can I do it then?
Yes, you have 38. You probably have more G12 than me.
Instead, I'm gonna have
Well,
more
that's-
because Daka
like-
and the Bachelor are about to be gear 12. Fucking
Like for
goddamn.
me, I'm staying away from 6E because I actually do like to swap my mods. Like
Yeah.
when new characters
Mhm.
come out, even if they're 3-star, I'll put my good mods on them to test them out. And if 6E all my good mods, I can't swap them around.
Mhm. I also think
I
the
Just get
benefits are
12
very
of them and you
limited.
can.
Yeah, right.
I mean, really, the benefits are if you're taking mods to 6E, the real only thing you should be looking for is the primary stat on the mod. That's really the only thing that gets a huge boost. And even that one, it depends on what they are. Health doesn't get a big boost. So primarily, you're looking at non-health boosts and non-speed boosts on primary of the right column. Those are the ones that get health does, protection doesn't, sorry. Health does get a big boost, protection doesn't. So you're looking primarily at the right column for non-protection primaries and non-speed primaries in order to get the most bang for your buck. And there are not a lot of characters that get a huge benefit from that. There are some, and so if you're doing it selectively, it makes sense, but overall, you're not going to find a whole lot of mods that will benefit from it. So 6E does tend to be a shiny distraction.
Yeah, and then to follow up with the question, I think the only thing that we had a problem with was like the transparency of it. Like they didn't really tell us that 6E mods only go on Gear 12 characters when it first happened, right? When
They
Mod
did. They
2.0
put it
came
in
out.
the post. It's just nobody looked over it.
There was so much information, it was
Yeah.
kind of skimmed over, you could say then. But
Yeah.
it's still to that point, it was just like you have to go all in on that one character, and you gotta stretch your roster out even more. It's
Look,
kind of a catch-22.
6E is good for characters that need defense, that need health, that need tenacity, that need offense. These stats that we haven't looked at for a long time, right?
Crit avoidance.
Crit avoidance. A character like Jolie, right, makes more sense with 6E than a character like Hermit Yoda, for example, right? Because everything that guy needs is better at 6E. So it's really odd the ones that you need to take to 6E or that you would get the most benefit out. A Treya
Right.
to go up against a Revan team would do better with 6E because you're modding for all this weird stuff, tenacity and crit avoidance, and you're modding for this, in defense, right? Well, we don't normally mod like that. That's what really needs 6E. So it's like a complete twist around from what you're used to.
Right, and the difference.
I'm just looking at a screenshot. Someone saying about somebody on his shard has got a 6E tenacity crit avoidance. So that's 35% crit avoidance.
Yes.
With 14 speed on it, and that's on his Treya because he's trying to get his Treya to work.
Yes, and it'll work like that.
But that's some commitment.
I mean, that is some serious commitment to take a crit. But here's the deal: we already know that that's one of the better mods to take. That a crit avoidance arrow with speed secondary would be a great choice to take to 6E, right?
That's my holy grail mall.
That one had 14 secondary on it.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get the crit avoidance with the 20 speed over. I've seen some. Shadow Veil has mocked me with his before, so I want one. my maximum is 15.
Well, that's what Shadow Veil does.
He does. He mocks me.
He does mock you.
That's my TW leader, man. That's my TB leader, Shadow Veil, right there. Another Dark Lords guy. Just saying.
Of course. Okay, now let's move to the next question. So, Jason Hummel question: I have crit avoidance arrow that has 13 speed secondary. What characters benefit from a crit avoidance arrow?
We just talked about it, right? Crit avoidance. GK, Treya,
Scion.
Scion.
Though you can get away with putting any crit avoidance on Sith under Treya.
Yep. Crit avoidance under Treya, particularly Scion and Treya, would be the ones that I would say. I mean, you can go with health or something else.
The new Bastila could use it because she's squishy.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. Or some of the Maul pieces too. Like if you're running that Maul Envy's Nest counter team, a bunch of tenacity on that team helpful, right?
Mm-hmm. So there you go. Let's see. Next question is Revenator. Question: is RSG doing the Wednesday night stream this week or taking off for the holidays? Also, ding. We are doing the Wednesday night stream.
Yeah, and I'll be there. I should be there.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
I'll be there. Okay, Zigglet.
I'll be there to comfort you. Build my world and dreams around you. I'm so found. Grande found you.
Okay. Next question.
Grande's piece of crap and we hate his guts.
Okay. Zigglet question: which 5 would make a great Imperial Trooper team?
Well, you need Grande, action figure with the Kung Fu grip. And then you need... it depends. That's a great question because... So, for me, the standard team that I like to run, and it's Stark really fast, 235 plus speed, and then Veers with the Zeta, Death Trooper, Snow Trooper, and Short Trooper. Standard team that I run, right? Now, Range Troopers are a great addition instead of a Short Trooper, but not a lot of people have them. Now, it's different, though, for different things. For instance, in Darkside Territory battles, I do not use Short Trooper or Range Trooper, because I haven't really worked on them, in the Day 6 battle for the special mission. I use Stark, excuse me, Veers, Death Trooper, Snow Trooper, and IPD because you have to, right? And I have no problems beating that mission whatsoever. Because the thing about troopers is a fast start gets them going, and once they get going, it's lights out. It pretty much is. Um, so standard team is to run that with Death Trooper, Snow Trooper, General Veer Stark, and Short Trooper. Now there are variations. You can throw Magma Trooper in there. You can throw regular Stormtrooper in there. I know Loki's done that in the past, and it works really well because a Stormtrooper, once you gear him up and stuff, it's a pretty solid tank. So there are combinations, but the big thing is, for me, Snow Trooper has got to be with Stark and Veers because they just buff him to the point that he is just machine gunning everything. Then the other two you can depend on the situation. Death Trooper you can save if you want to use him on another part of your team, like for something else, short range instead of short. So, but that's kind of the variations you get.
I do a slightly different variation. I run Veer, Stark, Death Trooper, Range Trooper, and Shore Trooper, and I sit back and watch the fireworks show. Because just the amount of assists and stuff, like especially when Death Trooper puts his death mark down, it's just like that character's going to die in like one turn from all the assists.
It's pretty bad.
I run a slightly different variation. Viz, Stark, Snow, Range, and Storm. I just love Stormtrooper because he actually hits. He's a tank that hits. And hits hard. And if he doesn't hit, he exposes. It's a thing of beauty. And you don't want to expose against Imperials. You just don't want it.
All right. Next question. What else 73 question? So what Finn is saying is that CG is being run by the Canadian Devil. Well,
yeah.
I'm not saying it's not.
Who are you talking about?
I love the little Canadian Devil. He is one of my favorite characters from South Park. I did not expect him to be so small and annoying. It was awesome. Okay.
I don't know. Whenever I hear a mention of a devil, I am always reminded of a song by Tenacious D that cannot be mentioned on this show.
Then we won't mention it. Next question from Mr. Penny. Question: what are you guys grateful for or give thanks to? I'm truly grateful to have you guys for all the info and all the things that you guys do for us. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
I'm grateful for Grande Patron action figure with Kung Fu grip. I mean, I think that covers all of it.
No, that's pretty hard not to. Let's see.
Well, I think we're all grateful here for each other.
I am grateful.
I'm just grateful
for Ranger
to be here.
And Sanely and Phoenix because they have made it to where I can live free over here.
There you go.
That's what I'm thankful for.
Grande?
And I'm just chopped liver on that deal. That's okay.
You do have the Kung Fu grip.
That's true. I do have the Kung Fu grip.
I am thankful for McVenom because otherwise this would be a sausage fest.
Yeah, I'm thankful for Team Money and her dictatorship and her maple syrup loving ways. And good old Maurice and Warrior and all the community. I'm grateful for you guys to actually think we're entertaining and watch us.
No, it has been a really good year.
And for all my friends.
Yeah. No, really, thank you to all of you guys. It's been a really awesome year. We grow at a pace maybe smaller than some of the other channels and whatnot, but the community that we're building as part of this is, I think, really dedicated compared to the subscriber. And so the activity on Discord, the fact that you guys come out and chat and we interact with you guys in the chat, not to mention that we did a charity event and you guys came out in full force, and it gives us the opportunity to try and make an impact in the larger community. So we started another one. I mean, you guys have made it so we really are building a community and not just a YouTube channel. And we really appreciate everything that you guys have done to support us. And we hope that we can continue to entertain you and keep building on that.
Another thing I'm thankful for is, George Lucas, man. If he wouldn't have done what he did, we wouldn't have such an awesome franchise to bring the community together.
Or a Grande Patron action figure with Kung Fu Grip.
That too.
There you go.
All right. Next question is...
And pools. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a Pool Boy Grande.
Let's see. Are we almost out? I think we're getting close to being done with questions here.
Hey.
Yeah, we have 3 more questions. So, first question from Matthew Vidalone. Question: who would you pick for a troopers team, Snow or Range Trooper?
Range Trooper.
No, and
I'm
I'd
Snow.
pick both.
Situational to me.
Yeah, it depends on, do you want to be a little bit more defensive with what you're doing, or do you want to be offensive? So, I think on defense you want to use Range Trooper. On offense, you want Snow Trooper in there because he is ridiculous, especially when you put the bayonet on him. I went in the other day and did something with him, and I was like, "Get the hell out of here!"
Well, like Finn said too, it's really situational. But I mean, Range Trooper, in my opinion, if you're looking for trooper classification or faction tag, definitely Range Trooper because he benefits more of that faction and class. But you can use Snow Trooper in an Empire team, or Vader, Vader, Palpatine, Tarkin. You can use them as another plus in that team for an AOE. But if I had to pick one of the two, I love Range Trooper. He's so awesome. Even at a lower gear level, he makes that team so awesome.
Gear 8, he's fine.
Yeah, I would.
Mine's gear 9, and he's awesome. He's one of those characters. You just put those 3 Omegas on him, and he's ready to go, basically.
All right.
Well, I'd pick him because those darn assists, man. He just makes the entire team just keep on going and going and going.
Yeah,
it's nice. You're not wrong.
Or
and not to mention
with an
how
AOE, and they all counter.
Yeah, how can you resist the dance party team?
Yeah, the animation for the dance is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every time I think of this Range Trooper doing the stomp, I think of Samley first thing in the morning. Good morning.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's just
the character for Sanely, isn't it?
Sanely gets out,
the stomp,
puts on
he's
his
good
Range
morning.
Trooper slippers and thump, and gets off to his day.
Puts on his pin shoes, and he's like, I'm ready to go.
All right, next question from Balaz. I'm going to probably pronounce it wrong, so let's see. Balaz Zambu. I'm probably butchered it, but I apologize if I did.
Well, let's give it to Grande. He'll get it right.
Question: are the Gear 12 Plus gear bonus speeds not counted for the speed set 10% bonus? Correct, but it has nothing to do with the fact that they're just Gear 12 Plus. The way that the formula works is that it is counting everything that has provided speed before your current speed level. So here's another example of when speed wouldn't count. Going from Gear 6 or Gear 11 to Gear 12, sometimes you have those purple balls, and I think they're Mark 6 thermal detonators that provide plus 6 speed bonus.
Balls make you faster.
Yes. If they take you if you're at Gear 11...
They also get squirrels out of the tree, but that's okay.
If you're going from Gear 11 to Gear 12, and you've equipped that piece that gives you plus 6 speed, that speed does not count towards your 10% speed bonus. It'll only count everything up until your current gear level. So everything that you require to fill to get Gear 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to Gear 10. What you need to get from 11 to 12 is not included. When you then click the button after you filled all 6 pieces and you upgrade your gear from Gear 11 to Gear 12, now all of those speed bonuses that you had going from 11 to 12, which may include that plus 6 piece, now gets counted towards that 10% speed bonus. So any Gear 12 plus piece that has the extra speed will not count until you get to Gear 13. Once you get to Gear 13, then everything that you needed to get from 12 to 13 will count. And so that's how the calculation for the speed set works. It also counts that way for most of the things that give you any kind of percentage bonuses. It's everything up until your current gear level, and everything that you're gathering in order to get from your current to your next level is added to your character, but not included in the mod calculations. So hope that makes sense and clarifies kind of what's going on with that.
That's right. I say,
And then last question, Matthew Vitelloni. Question: who is the best trooper? We'll go around the corn. Just say who you think is the best.
Grande with
Me
the kung
first,
fu.
Zia Viz.
No, Grande with the kung fu grip. I win.
They're
Game over.
useless without him.
He's not
Death
a
Trooper.
Yeah, he's
He's a
a-
scoundrel.
Death Trooper. Hands down. He's got the cooldown reduction on his
I'm going with
AoE
Xylo.
and Death Mark.
Most
And he got a
versatile.
ship.
I mean, like, he's the only character with Death Mark, so hands down, Death Trooper.
Yep.
I would agree with that.
I
Death
do
Trooper
too.
is serious.
Can I say McDenim again? Because she's a trooper for putting up with us.
You're not wrong there either.
Mm-hmm.
It's somewhere. It's between McDenim and Death Trooper. It's a close one.
I know the
If I had
Grande
to-
with the kung fu grip is up there. I mean, you can't just discount.
No, he's a scoundrel. He's not a trooper.
Oh, he's
If
a
I had to
scoundrel.
pick, like, 1, 2, 3 order, I would say Death Trooper, Stark, and Shore Trooper. I mean, like, obviously Veers is the caveat
I
because
throw
he's
range
the
trooper
leader.
in there more than range.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see that one too. I mean, Stark because he's like the engine for the team, right? He gets the
Yeah.
team going. And then Shore Trooper was technically our first auto taunter, and his mechanics kind of gives that team survivability. So aside from the leader, those 3 pieces right there are clutch, and then Veers and Range Trooper are just boom.
Silverbolt says the
That
best
was-
trooper is Sanely Trooper.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry,
Stanley.
pre-taunter.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Auto taunter.
can't forget Sandy
pre-taunter,
Trooper.
yeah.
I don't know. Personally, I'd say Stark, man, because you can use them in more teams than just the Imperial Troopers. Like use them
Yeah.
under EP and watch EP's basic
Take
hit
off,
for 100k. You know,
That's true, yeah. Yeah, I got my EP modded with a lot of flat offense, so he already hits for like 20, 30k on his basic and his AoEs. But then when he's with Stark,
No.
because I used him for that Treya counter team with Thrawn Magma Trooper lead, and then it just amps up the damage even more so.
Yeah. So because I think it's a she asked nicely because she said please. I'll ask her a question too because
Sure.
it didn't pick up on the bot because she didn't put a question. But Tony Bobby asked, how amazing are you guys?
Well, I mean, we have Grande with the kung fu grip. I think that covers it all.
We have just Grande period. We have
If you have a
No.
Grande, you win.
inherently
No.
amazing.
we're not as cool as the big deal.
You guys are all cool because vicariously,
Ah.
I only attract winners. That's all I gotta say.
Oh
I only
my
attract
God.
winners, and so
Hashtag winning.
All I do is
That's-
win, no matter what. Got Grande in my mind.
I'm just telling you, if you're watching the stream, if you're watching this after the fact, if you've gotten to this point in the video, you are a winner.
Can
Just
you
saying.
feel it? Can you feel it? Can
I mean,
you feel
effectively-
it?
If I'm your friend, it's like you permanently walk around with that Eye of the Tiger song in the background.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Bum,
dude,
bum,
dude,
bum,
dude.
bum.
I just say,
Dun,
bum,
permanently,
bum,
permanently,
bum.
this is what's happening. I'm for
Dun,
you. I mean, effectively, you have a big deal in your corner, which makes you a big deal. I'm just saying.
Rising up, back on the street. Did my time,
Well,
took my
it's also
chances.
too, like Ranger always says, it's because of the fans, dude. I mean, like, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all the viewers and people interacting, so thank you, guys.
Yeah. And thank Grande in the kung fu grip. All right. Very good, Grande. I'll kick your ass now.
It's the eye of the tiger. It's the thrill of the fight. Rising up
to the challenge of our rivals.
And the last known survivor stalks his prey at night. And he's watching us all with the eye of the tiger. I apologize for that song getting stuck in your head. But
I
it's
don't know. When Grande is around, I just hear the Weird Al song "White and Nerdy" playing.
Oh my god.
Hey, do you know what I do with my kung fu grip?
Hmm.
Wax on, wax off, Danielson. Wax on, wax off, Danielson.
We'd like to
okay, I'm gonna root it. This is gonna go in that direction. So let's just rutabaga it right.
Yeah,
and end the stream.
Stand the
Grande.
floor. Bend
No.
the fence.
We'd like to
Look, Mr.
apologize.
Miyagi, I got one in the chopstick.
Yo, Mr. Miyagi, look, I got it. Yo, Mr.
So,
Miyagi.
do you now regret asking us that question? Oh, she says her kung fu grip is better than yours.
Oh, my kung fu grips bring the boys
snap!
to the yard.
Oh snap! Them be fighting words. Them be fighting words.
And they're like, it's better than yours, damn right. It's
Brains on the boat. So
They're like, it's better than yours.
damn right.
I could teach you, but I'd have to charge.
I'd beat you, but I'd have to charge you. Holy cow!
Amazing. So, real quick, guys, I'm going to go jump in Discord after this and hang out and play games, and I'll probably do a little bit of Star Wars while I'm first in there, just because it's, it's territory.
TW
battle.
time and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I got to get that stuff out, do some PvP, but I'll be in there chilling, and we'll get some Hero of the Storm rocking and rolling. I'll be there the rest of the day, so if you guys want to come out, you're more than welcome. Make sure you like and subscribe. Check out our Patreon. We appreciate all our Patreon supporters. You guys are incredible, and our fans are incredible, and we appreciate all of you. But if you'd like to become a Patreon sponsor, you can. Anything on the ACS stuff, Dr. Finn?
So please make sure that you guys check out the ACS page. You can either go to our website, or you can go directly to the ACS page, or you can go to the Tiltify page. All three links are in the description of the YouTube video. Please donate and help with the cause. If you go to the Tiltify, we do have a lot of rewards. I did get in the wristbands. And so if you go to our Discord and you go to the Stu Strong channel, you will see a picture of the wristband. And so I mailed one to Ranger, and we're going to make sure that the mailing of it and everything goes okay, and then I'm going to start mailing them out to those of you guys that got it. We have 200 only available for sale, and they're $15. Again, all of the money goes to the ACS, and it's only sold during the campaign time, so you guys can donate and then support Stu as well at the same time through the Stu Strong campaign by giving money to the American Cancer Society. So please make sure that you guys check out the Tiltify link, go to the reward section, and get yourself one of those wristbands now.
There you go. All right. So on behalf of myself and the RSG crew, thank you guys for stopping in today. We really appreciate it. We'll be back here tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel. If you want to come hang out, more than welcome. I'm sure Finn, are you going to come hang out, or what are you doing?
I have a meeting at 2, so in like half an hour, and then afterwards I'll be hanging out.
All right. So we'll have Dr. Finn and me hanging out, and anybody else that wants to come hang out is more than welcome. So everyone have a great rest of your day. We'll be chilling. Make sure you check out our game night tonight. We'll be doing that. So peace out. And we'll holler at you later.
Love me, say that.
Oh, absolutely, we're not ending on that crap-ass song. No, Finn.
I wish I was a girlie.
If you're gonna do that, do Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah, it should
do Eye of the Tiger.
Try the Rye or the Tiger, they're on special tonight. Please be
All right, I'm just gonna